Hey everybody, welcome in to another edition of our post-game wrap-up videos. I'm Joe Popely.
And I'm Robby Howard.
And we're coming to you from the press room and talking about IU's 68-64 win over the Northwestern Wildcats here on January 6th. It was a hard-fought game, Robby. We had some runs by both teams. Ultimately, Indiana comes out on top, but it wasn't easy, and a lot of it was thanks to the free throw shooting by Aulani Sinclair and others down the stretch, but particularly Sinclair, who had a game-high 31.
Yeah, Aulani goes 10 of 11 from the charity stripe down the stretch from the 5:47 mark on. She goes 10 of 11, only one miss in her three free throw attempts, getting fouled on a three-pointer. Missed the middle free throw, but that was her only miss from the line. She was, 14 of 15 from the line overall, 31 points, another big night for Aulani. In order for this team to win, Aulani Sinclair has to put up a big point total.
Yeah, and something we heard in the press conferences, too, is that Jasmine McGee is Aulani's Robin to her Batman. And
per Curt Miller.
Yeah, per Curt Miller, that's right. And McGee had a nice performance, 14 points, 5 of 13 shooting, hit a couple of threes as well. So she's really come on in the last few games, and I really extend it to beyond Aulani because we've seen Aulani have great games, and they still lose. I think that if they can get a second option from Jasmine, they'll have a chance to win. And Robby, I was talking to you during the game in the last few minutes, and it almost seemed like a case of who wanted it less. It was turnover after turnover by both teams, and it was a full-court pressure at Northwestern that particularly gave IU fits, causing some turnovers. And I'm sure that teams coming up facing IU, starting with Nebraska on Thursday, are going to see that and probably try to do something similar. Your thoughts on the full-court pressure that IU struggled with?
Well, it'll be interesting. It seemed like IU was getting trapped in the corners a lot. That's something that I'm sure they'll work on in practice this week, something they need to try to avoid. But also, it was interesting to me, you saw Andrea Neubauer at point guard a lot down the stretch, not Nicole Bell. So it'll be interesting to see what Curt Miller decides to do there as far as his point guard goes in the final minutes, deciding who he trusts more with the ball. Tonight, it seemed like he trusted Andrea a lot more, and we'll see what he decides going forward.
It's interesting because in the past we've heard Curt say, I like playing Nicole down the stretch because she's a better free throw shooter. But at the same time, she's shorter than Andrea Neubauer, and Northwestern was using its size to trap Bell, and she nearly coughed it up a few times. So I think that's what he was going with there. And speaking of size, we'd be remiss not to talk about Simone DeLoach's effort. She had a career-high 15 rebounds along with 8 points.
All off the bench.
All off the bench, 34 minutes today because Malika Taufa and Rubine both had 3 first-half fouls, later picked up their 4th and had to sit back down. So a huge effort from her, especially considering recent developments in that front court.
Yeah, it's tough with, obviously, Quanisha McCurdy transferring to Florida State at the end of the year, calendar year that is. She's down in Tallahassee at Florida State now, so the team is without her. That leaves the team with just Sasha Chaplin, who did not play today with a concussion, Linda Rubine, Malika Taufa, Simone DeLoach, and Jocelyn Musti, who Curt Miller reiterated again today they plan to redshirt. So it seems like Curt is not planning to remove that red shirt at all. They're really sticking to their guns on that one because, like you said, today they played with just 3 post players. That was pretty tough, but they managed to get the job done. And Miller seems optimistic that Sasha Chaplin will be back soon. While he said that it is a concussion, she's day-to-day, so we'll see if she plays against Nebraska on Thursday or not.
They will probably need her against the nationally ranked Cornhuskers. It'll be quite a test for IU. One thing they did well also today was win the the 50-50 balls, I should say. They had 14-6 was the advantage in second chance points. Obviously, those could go either way. That's why they're called 50-50 balls, but I don't think I've seen this kind of energy from this team out there. It looked like they really wanted this win. And one thing that Curt talked about and the players talked about was that they were angry from Michigan. They, lost by double digits, and the score looked bad, but he said that they left some opportunities out there on the floor and felt like they should have had a chance to win.
Yeah, they definitely weren't leaving any opportunities out there today. They won the offensive rebounding battle 15-8 over Northwestern, and that was a huge number. There were several times, especially in the second half, when it came down to crunch time, when we saw 3 players diving on the court for loose balls for IU. And that's huge. That's the way Curt Miller likes to play. He likes to play, guns blazing and really everyone putting forth maximum effort. And he said several times, he said again today, that he wants his team to be the hardest working team in the Big Ten. So if the team plays like that, it's tough. Even if they do lose some games, it's tough not to like this team just because of the effort they put forth.
So IU improves to 10-5, 1-1 in conference. Northwestern falls to 8-7, 0-2 in conference. Next up for IU will be Nebraska on Thursday. Be a tough game on the Big Ten Network, though, so you can catch it if you can't make it to the game. A pretty good crowd today. We'll see if that continues. For Robby Howard, I'm Joe Popely saying until next time.